Hello, my name is Brandy Hofer. Welcome to the Color Me Happy podcast. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm very grateful for your time. You are going to feel so empowered with our episodes and our guests because they live a truly passionate life. They're excited about what they do. They know that creativity matters and that your art matters and that it matters to following your passion in life to ultimately see your everyday ordinary as extraordinary. These episodes are almost unedited, very raw, so it'll feel like you're sitting down for coffee with a friend. Feel free to reach out anytime at Brandy Hofer Studios on Instagram and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for being here.
Hello, welcome to the Color Me Happy podcast. Great to have you here. This week we have on really amazing guests, Kyla and Lyle, and I got to know them with a really cool Brave Spaces DIY team when we went and did a beautiful room makeover for Bella and Waylon, her brother, last year, and it was just such a great journey, and it was so cool to get to know their family. I wanted to talk about Be Brave Days in theme with the Brave Bella and the Beyond Brave podcast. You can check out our episode with them on their Beyond Brave podcast, which they just started, and they've been doing really well. And it's so cool to see them shine. They've had on some really amazing guests like Ryan Reynolds, fellow Canadian, and they're just the nicest people in the whole wide world. I also wanted to be really honest with you. I too, like you are, I don't know if you are, I'm suffering a lot of burnout. I wore my disgusting sweater just to prove it. That's because that's what I've been living in. And I'm currently doing a Harry Potter marathon with my son. I got super sick and then just burnt out because I actually can't even fathom what I was maintaining in my brain now. It's like, how was I doing all of those things? So I've started to say no, which is probably a first for me. So send my first no today to someone. It's really hard, and you can't do it all, and you shouldn't. And I just emotionally am having a really hard time bouncing back. So, and I know a lot of us hit that at this time of year, or are really busy parents, or going through something. So I just wanted to be raw and authentic, like we always are on the Beyond Brave podcast. That's Kyla and Lyle podcast. I should not be podcasting today. On our Color Me Happy podcast, we're on the Beyond Brave, and we have footage from our recording with them highlighting some of the great points of our conversation. Be Brave Days, I wanted to talk about in memory and honor of Bella, and one of my greatest tricks to succeeding and thriving in one's passion in life. Be Brave Days, which is a chapter in our book, is capitalize on the days where you feel really great, because they're not always here. So on those days, if you're lucky enough to be having one today or maybe tomorrow, get out your task list or get out your agenda or get out anything and write down goals that you've been wanting to get to, and then make micro goals on how you'll get there and steps that you can put toward those actions today. So the email you've been meaning to send, the person you've been meaning to reach out to, the post you've been meaning to make, cross it off, because our days are numbered and we don't have an infinite amount of them. And if you want something, you have to go and get it. You are your own best advocate. So be brave, like Bella and her family were. Be brave. And I hope you enjoy these clips, and pardon me for not having my stuff together, because I just don't. And I'm going to get back to my Harry Potter marathon with my son. He is also burnt out and sick. So many yeah, many weeks of, I think it's probably the 15 times a week hockey, but plus maintaining my career and family life. But who knows? Extracurriculars. The worst. Okay. If you have any questions and comments, feel free to reach out anytime and happy to chat. Thanks for being here.
First learn about Bella and our stories. That was our connection with the Brave Spaces team for the room makeover.
For sure. So this, when I saw that question, I was like, this always makes me feel old and disconnected because Janelle phoned me a couple times and she was like, okay, so I'm sorry that you're late in the game, but I thought of you and we have this really cool thing that we're doing for a family. We also have no money to give you. But we want this mountain mural done. And I was like, sure. I didn't like listen to any. I was like, yeah, sounds great. And then she sent me all your info, and that was the first time. And then I realized that I had been living under a rock because everyone in my family and every acquaintance knew who you were. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I don't sit on, like, I work on social media, but I, in order to have business and life success, I don't like scroll on social media. I only like do the bare like post, talk to people and wonderful people because there's amazing, like, that's what I think is the coolest part of social media is connecting with wonderful people like you. And so they were like, yeah, come. And then I started like meeting with them more. And they said how much Bella loved these particular things. And they showed me your spaces and the idea and the drawings and everything that went along when they drew their little sketches of the rooms. And then I was like, I can make a butterfly too. Please let me make the butterfly. Like that, like I can do mountain murals too, but like I would love to do that. And then it like evolved into like, how can we make it together? Because when you involve children, of course, in anything, then it just makes that experience much more special, and connecting to her creativity and her space and making it feel like hers, right? Was the idea behind that. And then of course, the more I dove deep into you guys, the more wonderful I learned about Bella and your journey, and of course everything you've gone through. And it was just, I'm so honored to have gotten to spend time with you. Especially, I think it was only 24 hours. I think I came the next day too, but it was like 24 hours where I zipped to Swift Current. And then, it was just, it was a bit surreal. And it was just like, these are wonderful. Like you just, like, I would say Waylon is like his own son, has his own universe centering around him in this like really bright light. That was really fun to like play with him and interact and make the mural together, and getting to know you guys more and creating with Bella, even though she wasn't feeling the best that day, and just like small little moments in a very short period of time that I will never forget. So thank you for allowing me to be a small part of your journey in space.
Well, yeah, I mean, you and the entire Brave Spaces crew, you guys, as you were doing the makeover, you guys got to be the family that we shared our home with for Bella's like final days at home. I'm so thankful she got to take part. At first, we were maybe thinking about making it an entire surprise for her and Waylon, but it ended up her not feeling really great those last couple of days. You guys were here before she had to go back into hospital. And, it's just nice to be home in this space with you guys. You guys shared so much love with us. And then to do something with Bella that she has always loved, which is art, is comforting for her.
Yeah, you think about it. Oh, those days, when you think of a normal reno, no one really wants to be around that, but that wasn't what it was. It was, fun activity, especially for kids. They don't care what the house is like. They like the activity that's going on. And you guys, all the attention you showed them over that time you were here made it really exciting for them. So they loved it.
Yeah.
And what a cool team of people.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just, you guys will always have just that special, precious, part of me in those days at home with Bella. It just really means a lot to me.
My mom asked one point later on after Bella had passed and we got home, and maybe a few months ago, she was asking me because Bella never got to see her room reno after you guys had completed it. And she was wondering if I had almost wanted it kind of back the way that it was. And I thought about that. Her room was nothing special. It was just like any other, square or room that a normal kid has. And I said, you know what, there was a lot of difficult memories in her bedroom. So I don't, there's not something in particular that I miss in it. I mean, there's still the drawings that she had, the items that are in there, and it's exactly how she would want her space to be now. So there's not something left there that I am missing. That's for sure.
I feel the same way in that case, that there's with her room, the way it originally was, it held a lot of difficult, scary memories. And with the room renovation and the creative way that you guys worked with Bella to create her dream room, the room is just light. It's love and light every time I step into it. And it's so much easier to walk into, I would say, than how if we would have left it the way it was. But
it's more of kind of like, I want to say shrine to her.
Yeah.
But it's her imagination in there. Her items are still in
her
there.
Ideas, her dreams.
It's kind of a nice place to celebrate her.
Yeah. While
I think it'd probably be more difficult for you being in her room the way it was. We wouldn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'd take her bed out of there. I don't know. It would feel very, very empty and hollow. If it was the way it was.
And she did actually, I don't know if I mentioned this to everyone on the Brave Spaces team, but Bella, having spent the last couple of days at home with the start of the room makeover, she was so looking forward to her room, and it gave her so much excitement while she was in hospital. In the first month we were in hospital after we had to go back in, I kept keeping it a surprise for her. And then as we got closer to a second month in hospital, she's like, Mom, I really just want to see my room. And you guys had completed it. And I was like, yes. I was like, I told her, I was like, it's going to be so much more exciting when you're actually physically there. So yeah, let's take a look at the pictures. And we took some time and we watched all the videos that we had on our Google shared folder. And she did actually get to see every detail and every part. And it gave her so much joy. And I'm really happy I didn't keep it a full surprise for her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So she got to virtually experience basically her imagination coming to life, which was, and then of course, like Siobhan and Stuart and like everyone, they put in so much thought to every single detail, like cat to throw pillows to cat portals to lowering switches, which like wasn't easy. I imagine no, like I'm no electrician, but and so it just is a testament of the inspiration that you give others and the hope, and for the people to know that no matter what you're experiencing in your life, because you guys were experiencing the hardest of hard, and that you can find little rays of sunshine in that, in amongst those clouds. And you got to are
you explaining your famous, I'm going to call it famous, transfer method?
Yeah.
Is that yes? Okay, I wanted to
Yeah.
get into that and describe that to everyone.
So I show the hack online a bit different than it's actually is in the class. Like you can
Okay.
get a really nice drawing from taking the whole class and using the materials and methods. Lyle's eyes are probably like glazing over at this point, but
I'm waiting to learn about the transfer method.
Yeah.
Kyla was telling
it's
me
a
about
secret actually. And so
it. People always
I
say that. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, man, Lyle must be just like, I don't know, I'm pretty patient.
learning.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Minded guy.
Yeah, so I teach the oil pastel one online because it's more approachable for like teachers and people who can't afford art supplies. Like a lot of people have like old set oil pastels, or classrooms always have the oil pastels. So it's very approachable, and again goes back to values and mission of like how many people can you empower to feel good. Because I feel like when I went to school, and it's that same thing. It's like there's these challenges and reasons why things are challenges. And you went through something. When I was in school, it was very competitive. You had to draw by so I would like hours and hours of figurative nudes, stuff like that, like to learn the proper way, which by the way, any way that you're sitting down at this point in stage in life and you're not on your device and you're creating is a great thing.
Yes.
So whether you call my method, and I do get some haters, not a lot, pretty nice community, but some are like, well, that's cheating. No one's learning anything from that. I was like, I have a few years under my belt of people learning. Also, I did it for 15 years like prior to, and that's why I'm able to teach it easily, is because I went through that learning curve, and I'm showing the easiest, fun, most fast, efficient way to get there. Right.
And if it's enjoyable, like that's the point, right? Like it's a therapy in itself. You want to do art in an enjoyable way. Like if these people are like, it's not art unless you learn how to draw realistic for 25
unless you have a
years.
horrible time and your eye and your nostrils look funny,
right?
Then
And
no.
Back to that like rude professor comment. I had one of those in one of my visual art classes, and I'll never forget it. It's burned into my brain. Sad, negative memory that's burned in my brain. So my favorite medium has always been with pencil. I love pencil and shading and black and white. And so in this class, it was my oil painting class. And I worked really, really hard with a mix of like my drawing talent and painting, learning to paint better. I forget what project it was for, but we were all creating our own like pieces of like however we wanted. And my favorite is realistic animals. And so I drew the scene of two wolves in the night, and they're realistic, and I thought they were beautiful, and I thought I did a great job, and I really loved it. And there was meaning towards it. Anyways, I don't know if this is like an art professor thing or
kind of sometimes is.
I was thinking that. I was like, maybe this is an art professor thing and I just need to like toughen up my skin. But it's like, it's been like this hurt in my chest. That
You're carrying this.
I've carried it.
What did he say?
She said, and this was like a public critique. This was a classroom critique. So she's critiquing our works in front of the entire class. Okay. She's like, she did some sort of like little comment sandwich, but the crappy part in the middle of the sandwich was, and I quote, "This looks like something that would be on the side of a semi truck." It's very, I'm not even kidding you. This looks like it would be something on the side of a semi truck. It's very cliche.
Come on.
Because it wasn't this abstract,
uninspired
piece that I worked so hard on it because it was realistic, right? It wasn't this like circle and square.
Yeah.
It was a realistic painting of animals, and I did freaking good. And she made me feel like I should just throw it in the trash.
You should go paint that mural on a semi truck.
It would fit totally fine, right?
Or like you know what? People are getting sea cans. People are painting sea cans a lot.
There.
Yeah. I'll never forget it.
You got a message her.
Oh, she's not on this.
I don't think they realize what they're holding in their hands. And also I think they should eliminate group critiques.
Right? Okay. Yeah. We got a lot.
What can a 19-year-old say to another 19-year-old that is constructive? Nothing.
Yeah. Right?
Nothing.
this was like a 50-year-old art professor.
Oh,
Her critique for me, her student.
jerks.
Like, what kind of critique is that?
Yeah.
If you're looking for a critique, it was a great critique. She did exactly what you were expecting she's supposed to. If you wanted a critique, here's one.
Yeah.
It always brings me back to that TikTok
It
sound.
wasn't a good one, but
The
it was one.
TikTok sound is like, I don't think you're good for him. And she's like, that's my opinion. I don't think he's good for you.
Yeah, I would never dream of, and it's those bad experiences that like make it your mission in life to like be kind to others. You're like, I
Right.
will never say something
Yeah.
like that to someone else because of the way I felt in that moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She really taught
You were
me how to-
vulnerable,
Yeah.
and she really shit on your dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've never really actually seen you draw much. I didn't know you then, but you clearly backed off away from it.
Yeah. Well, becoming a medical mom really took a hit
Oh,
to
yeah,
my,
obviously.
my extracurricular time.
Extra
dreams.
time. Yeah.
Time. But it really, I guess that kind of comment maybe helped me learn how to very constructively critique my kids, because their sensitivity was about on par with mine. At
So
that
you should be thanking her then, really.
I guess so.
She taught you a lesson. Very valuable life lesson there.
Yeah.
Maybe I need more of that.
Yeah.
And I think you were very creative as a medical mom or parent, like with the way you had fun, like video creating is a form of creativity.
Yes.
Like a big one.
Yeah.
Definite young teen girl tween obsession. When I walked into a birthday party yesterday to pick up my sons, and they have a daughter that's like 1 year older or whatever, and they were just all, they were TikToking, and the dad's like, no, this is all day. Like, this is not just like you're walking into, like, this is what they do. And I was like, oh, and I just, I'll never have the insight into because we didn't grow up with that. So like, I don't know. And then of course I just see there's 56 boys in our neighborhood. So I just see, so my cousin always says, she's from Wilkie, and she's like, not there. And I think she's in Vancouver, but she's like, I can smell the urine from your yard here.
No, just, yeah.
56.
Yeah.
You know for a fact there's 56 boys.
That's funny.
Just boys. So there's more, there's like 6 girls or something.
Oh, wow.
But we counted during the pandemic because we were bored.
What a weird fact you just dropped it. Like, how do you just rattle off that number? Let's back up.
Right? We were just all here. We were just like, it was very lucky actually, like, because it's like a horseshoe and it's a big close, but it's like 100 and some houses and like a little, actually I don't know that we didn't count the houses, but counted the kids under 16 and under, because it was just like they ran in a pack of 30 for a couple summers there,
Oh, wow.
So I feel like sometimes, do you guys think about your Canadian accent while you're podcasting?
No.
No, the only
Now you're never gonna not hear it.
Yeah.
They ran this back of 30 around the pot in the pandemic.
Well, that's a little bit more of an accent compared to us down south here.
Yeah.
It does come in. I notice, like, once you get to that Wilkie area, it gets a little stranger.
Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or if you're and south of the highway, you get closer to the border, it gets pretty obvious.
Yeah.
We notice that it comes up when we travel once in a while. People laugh at us and they're like, "Oh, you're from Canada, aren't you?" And you don't know that you have an accent.
You're talking so slow.
Yes.
Like, have you met anyone from Newfoundland?
Yeah, right. They're slower.
But like in a very unique way. You have so many like wonderful people who support you, and so how we know each other is actually through some of those amazing creative DIY people that you got to meet. And I was part of a team that came into your home, and I would love for you to talk about that experience. And that team, actually, I don't want to tell the story. It's your story. But so how did Jenna, because it was Jenna and Siobhan at first, right? Or was it just Jenna? And
it was,
how did that all happen?
I think it was just Jenna in the beginning, and she told me how she came to know, she had her own hospital experience when she had come to know Bella's story. I believe she was in the hospital. Hopefully my memory serves me right. Grief does a lot to your memory, and I'm trying to be patient with myself. I used to really pride myself on remembering such details quickly. I know Bella's doctors used to be like, wow. They would be like, when she had such a large history, with over 30 surgeries and 10 years in hospital. But so much of her life was rare disease. And I'd be able to rattle off dates and times from like 5-6 years ago and symptoms and all these sort of things. And I know since losing her and heavy grief that my memory has been a little rougher. So my apologies if I am not great with names and dates. But yeah, no, Jenna had, I believe, her own hospital experience. And then she reached out to me and she wanted to do something really special for both the kiddos, and a room makeover was one of them. And she had said she's going to get a team together. And so her and Siobhan kind of headed the Brave Spaces team and were in contact with me about all the details. And then last May, I got to meet all of you, and you came in and just made both the kiddos' rooms absolutely magical. And yeah,
it was so they drew, like, Waylon and Bella literally drew their rooms up.
Yes, they did. Yeah, we started with I had them draw their rooms, like their dream rooms, on paper, and I sent that in to you guys. And then we also made a Pinterest board. And so I sat down with both the kids, Bella and Waylon, and they made their own Pinterest board, inspiration ideas for both their rooms. And I sent those. And then from there, Jenna would get back to me, or Siobhan, and kind of fine tune all the details that the kids had thought of. Yeah.
But also you guys chose the colors, and you're an artist and creative yourself, which we'll talk. We did a double podcast today, just so everyone knows. I will be on the Beyond Brave podcast. And then, of course, you're listening to this, so and you can hear like more about the whole journey. We had Siobhan and Jenna on too, and we talked about how it all came to be. So if anyone wants to really take a deep dive into why it happened, how, and why it was so important, and the little details. But then like they took it to a whole new level with cat doors, etc.
Yes, that was so fun. Okay, so that was I'm pretty sure that was initiated by me. I was thinking of something. Oh yeah, so I think this conversation was with Siobhan, and I was like, I want something neat that's like not typical of like a kid's bedroom. And I'm like, both the kids' rooms are attached by one wall. I'm like, could we make like a little tunnel door for them to go in and out of each other's rooms just for fun, or something silly like that? And then I think it was Siobhan that came up with making it like a cat portal, and she designed it with Stuart and everything. I was like, this is so cool. It was so good. And like Waylon and Bella were both small enough. Waylon still fits through it. He's like a tiny girl. But that was also a fun part of their room makeover. I loved it. It was so great. It's hilarious.
And like a testament of how like creatives can get together and make stuff happen. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
And then I had the honor of making artwork with and for Bella, and you also created into it the butterfly. We don't have Lyle here back where he can hold up that 50-pound painting. And then Waylon and myself did a mountain mural together, which was super fun. And we put roads on it so he can drive on it with his cars. And it was just super fun cute. And then we did like a little hanging piece to hang in his room and space. And yeah, it was so fun being with your family, and just like a little peek into your lives. Because, when you see people on social media and stuff like that, and you're like, I'm too shy to talk to them or whatever. And then here we are in your home, and it was just super down to earth and very kind. So, and then just like a sneak peek into your lives and what you what you were going through on like a daily basis, like hearing you talk about, what's Bella's temperature, is she hydrated, is like there's so much more than that little sneak. Like you always put a very positive but also authentic spin on what you say and show, but like no one sees that part necessarily, like the hourly or minute worry that you had as parents.
Yeah. You guys are definitely in on like an inside look of like what happens hours before we need to take her back into hospital, or like what goes through her head to make that decision. And she was definitely not herself. She was getting really, really tired, and we didn't know that this was the beginning of the organized pneumonia that had started affecting her lungs, and that being a result of a very, very rare 9-year out complication of having her bone marrow transplant, and then 9 years later having a solid organ bowel transplant. And we learned this information when we sat down with her specialist from Sick Kids. I think it was 4 months after she had passed away. They'd put in all the pathology reports and got all the testing and results back, and from the autopsy to be like, okay, what actually went on here? Because we had the best of the best, at Sick Kids Hospital. When they are the ones to say, just them being the ones, the best pediatric hospital in the world, were the ones to tell us, like, we haven't seen this before in our career, and we likely will not see it again in our lifetime. That's how rare of this lung failure complication Bella had post bowel transplant. And yeah, the day you guys were here, the days you guys had spent here starting the renovation of the kids' rooms was the day before we had to go back into hospital, and that journey didn't end until she passed away in July. Yeah, and so it was, it was really, Bella had fought so many years, and that bowel transplant that happened like for her was life-saving for her. And that was the year prior. She had received her bowel transplant, and that was successful. And it took away so much of the pain in her life, with her bowel, that Hirschsprung's bowel failure disease she was waiting for a bowel transplant to get rid of that. And it definitely saved her life, and it saved her from pain. And so those 9 to 10 months post bowel transplant were the best of her entire life. And yeah, it's just, we were really just at the beginning of looking forward to a pain-free life for her. And so the worry of what she was going through meant going back into hospital. We had thought at that point was we were done with that, and so it was almost like throwing us, like, you guys got to see, kind of throwing us back into those earlier years in the hospital when we were home for a little bit at a time. That kind of fear and unknown of like, wait a minute, this really isn't something we should stay home with. We might have to take her back in, kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
and you had that mom's intuition.
Yeah, like it was, and of course, like Bella has dealt with 3 rare conditions and rare, symptoms from these conditions. Like, she's the rarest of rare. And so for something else to be going on that they hadn't seen before at this point, 10 years in, I'm thinking, no, like there can't be something again that they haven't seen before, but that is rare disease life. We were, just to catch you up, honey, now that you're back, we were discussing about the, how the Brave Spaces team. So Brandy got to spend those last days with us before we had to go back into hospital.
You talked about the timeline.
Yeah, the timeline, and just them seeing, the worry we had that day, deciding to take her or not take her, or things like, kind of, I was just relating it back to, like when we first, brought her home after 2 years in hospital, and it's like, wait a minute, it's something else now. And then,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we were.
Sorry, I had
sorry. Yeah.
away there. We had a bit of a issue.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of an issue. But
Oh no.
Oh no.
it's okay.
Like a bathroom issue?
Yeah.
Oh,
We have those too.
I'll probably have to.
Our one son, I'm not sure how often he's like, I sharded, sorry. And I'm like, well, throw those out, buddy.
If we had to throw them out, we'd be out. We'd have to make
You'd be out.
for a 5-pack every week.
I know.
Right now.
Right?
yeah.
I know. Well, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to wash poop off. Gotch.
Yeah.
I just
And we're
don't feel like it right now.
I was hoping that like maybe, I don't know if this is for average for 6-year-olds, but I was hoping we were past the wipe until Brown leaves town. Like I was hoping we were past.
No, every day there'll be something like exciting and new that they'll do, and you're like, oh, I thought we were over and done with that, and it's just not. I'm dying because we definitely did funny things with time here, but we'll keep going. What is something unexpected that has like brought you guys comfort during this last year or so?
But doing the podcast.
Yes, definitely. The podcast, like, I mean, I've been chewing on that idea for a while, like, and we never brought it to actually happening. And then when it started happening, it had such this therapeutic flow to it. And Lyle and I were we started craving it every week. Like, when are we going to sit down and podcast again? And I
don't know if it's necessarily like this is nice, the talking and stuff, but also just having a project on the go that kind of inspires you a little bit. I like the editing and the back end, that sort of stuff too. And so after we're done recording, and it's all learning for me, and it's a distraction, but it's also interesting. And so it's a project, and just having that has been a huge source of it's distraction. Probably not really dealing with things, but it's nice.
I think it is. And for me, I think I'm finding a lot of relief and support in long form sharing, whereas like a lot of the other socials are just so short form. I enjoyed that it's more therapeutic and unexpectedly therapeutic in the long form sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
What is a song that reminds you of Bella?
Oh,
Does she have a lot?
She always loved singing. The one we loved singing together the most, if it came on the radio, and it came on the radio so often, was "Baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle?" And we'd like shout it together. I'm losing my mind just a little. Mm-hmm. And then when we were like, if we were at home or whatever, and we'd be like walking to each other to meet in the middle, and we like dance walk to meet in the middle. And we just that was like the first song that was kind of our song that we had a lot of fun with.
Right.
Yeah. So I think of her when I hear that one.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of Disney songs that come to mind, but I think that's definitely the pop one
the pop one. Disney, Barbie. She loved those. She had her own love of artists like Halsey, of course, and she developed a relationship with her, and she loved Ed Sheeran. She loved a lot of Ed Sheeran songs, but that one, I think that one makes me think of her because we always sung it together.
Yeah
Thank you. That's a nice memory.
I feel really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's just a one-word name. Yeah, I'm right.
I'm the worst. I combined your names at the start, and I told you that's why I didn't do intros. So I'm not going to try.
Okay. You look it up. Next fire.
What's Waylon's most hilarious habit or phrase? Does he have like a go-to thing right now?
Okay. When he was, I think, 2 and 3, he used to pound his chest in a like come and get it type gorilla manner, and it was so freaking funny. He'd be like,
so cute.
He'd be like this. He'd like, and kind of like, what? What?
We still do that. What do you mean? We just did that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we were shirts off doing that already
We were
today.
swearing off in the bathroom, shouting at each other.
I think it's really funny. He like does not back down, and it's so funny because he's so like,
It's gonna come to blows one year.
I know.
Between the two of us.
That's the one thing. Oh, and okay, one more thing is he started making me, he calls them poop mom cards because he wanted to do it as a joke. And so he drew a little poop with a stinky poop on a piece of paper, and then he drew me as like a stick mom. And then he's like, one time he's like, Mom, what's your favorite color? What do you like to? I was like, flowers and green. And he's like, okay, pretending to make me this card. And then it's me beside this little pile of poop. And he hands it to me and runs away. And he's like, you're a poop mom. And it's just like, I howl all the time because it's like, you're a shit mom. And I'm like, oh, he got me again. Anyways.
Well, recently he's been calling like us Sigma.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Yeah, what is with that?
I figured you might. What the Sigma? Yeah, I knew you'd probably know that one.
All these like Gen Alpha terms.
Or
and he-
bro? When
Bro.
people
Oh,
call
we're
it
bra.
bro,
We don't
I'm
act
just
like
like,
bra all the time.
Yeah. And if I ever
Oh.
say it back to him with a little like, bruh, bruh, he just howls. Like,
This is so funny because he goes to elementary school, but
Yeah.
because we live on a farm, he gets to go ride on the school bus with like kids in grade 11 and 12, and they're almost forced to interact. And that's
Yeah.
what I call like this. He definitely learned some of these things on the bus.
he's
but,
learning
like,
a lot of it on the bus.
I
yeah.
bet they love him on the bus.
Oh yeah. He's so funny because there's this like grade 12 student, Zach, at the back. He's kind of just like a lump in the back, like leave me alone. But he gets a little like Waylon's like, I get a little smile out of him, Mom. And he's like, I like Zach. I like Zach because I think he's this big like standoffish guy, but like he like Waylon will make him smile.
He's worked his way in.
my friend's a
his
principal,
Waylon magic.
and he says all the time, like he has to deal with all these problems that are happening on the school bus. And what I remember growing up when I was on the school bus, that was like international waters. You didn't get in trouble for what you did on the school bus.
Yeah, like
At
what?
school, like no, they're two separate like worlds.
Yeah.
You have your school bus.
Maybe the bus driver yelled at you.
yeah, you get in all kinds of trouble, but
Yeah.
it never traced back to when you got to school.
Well, and Waylon's on a transfer bus, so he gets two buses.
Mhm.
The rural bus takes him into the city, and they exchange buses at the high school, and then that bus takes him to his school.
Yeah.
He's learning
Yeah,
lots.
you guys are way out there.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your go-to comfort food?
Ooh. My favorite is,
Candy.
you like candy. You're a
Yeah.
candy guy. I am like homemade bread, buns, and butter. Right out that and I
Oh.
never make them.
Homemade.
I
Yeah.
know.
was gonna say,
I know, it sucks.
You're never comforted then.
I know. I tried. I know.
Someone's got to learn to make buns.
That says a lot.
Like
about-
grandma's buns, like those like old Saskatchewan grandma
Oh,
buns that
that
they
is
like
Go up the road. We could just go
squeeze.
to the Hutterites and get them from
That's what
them.
I need
That'd
is
be perfect.
some Hutterite buns.
I'm salivating right now. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they're like a little bit sweet. They're so good.
Yeah.
This is a good question because it's going to transition into the next part of what I want to ask you: mountains or ocean?
Oh, I want to say mountains is so much of my life, but ocean brings me calm.
Yeah, you need some calm.
Mountains, so much more to do.
Mountains, there's so much more to do. Ocean is also scary. Mountains are less scary. Here's me. Now I can't decide. Ocean, I think tropical, but that's beach. Like, don't put me in the middle of the ocean. I will
No, pass.
I'll get seasick and then I'll vomit. And
Who's thinking this?
this is the way my brain works. Okay. So mountains, but also mountains
Well,
are
the
cold.
mountain you could put yourself on, like on climbing Mount Everest, or I mean, no, we're thinking like peacefully. What would you like to do? Like a vacation?
Tropical mountains.
I think we're in the winter right now, so a beach sounds like
This
Yeah,
is-
you're
yeah, a beach, hike where I could end at a beach.
Oh, yeah.
I would take mountains.
You take mountains?
Yeah.
Okay. I take beach.
Yeah. Oh, right now with minus 34 today. Yeah, let's find a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? Yes.
can you tell everyone about the significance of mountains to you with your tattoos?
Yes, I have. If you can see on YouTube, I'm just showing everyone my forearm. I have mountains here and I have mountains on my shoulder. And it started with my first social media, like sharing our life, like me reaching out to the world, was a way actually for me to connect when Bella and I were in hospital, because we spent life in hospital from the day she was born. And my way to connect was through a blog that I created and my Facebook page. And I wanted to create a title for my blog, and being, growing up in faith, I knew that the verse in Matthew, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you'll move mountains. And I always had some friends leave me with some quotes for Bella, like she will move, let her rest, for she will move mountains. And it was just always a part of our faith. And so, and then apart from that, we spent most time at the Calgary, Alberta Children's Hospital, which has a view of the mountains there in Alberta. And so, and the way I created the mountains was as my tattoos was, each mountain symbolized a surgery. So a mountain she had overcome, a mountain she had moved, was a surgery. And that turned out to be, I lost count at 30, but I know she's had 30 surgeries. And so I have 30 mountains that she's moved. One of the biggest ones being her bowel transplant. But yeah, that's where that comes from for us.
Did you say what she would have picked? She would have picked the beach.
Bella would have picked the beach?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's had enough mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She loved going there, visiting the fresh air, but definitely beach.
I was explaining the significance of mountains for us. Yeah.
Okay, last and final question, sponsored by Red Bicycle Communications. If you had unlimited funds for your what would you do for your community in one day?
New pool.
New pool.
New pool.
Limited funds.
Swift Current needs a new pool. I would definitely get that.
Oh yeah. If I would make it a full activity center.
Oh.
Like those places where you can go where they have like a rock wall, they have like go-karts, pool, but a pool with like a water park.
Yeah.
Like a West
Just
Edmonton
lots of accessibility.
Yeah, accessibility. That would be awesome.
Is that what you expected? I don't know.
Is that where we're
Actually, no.
I went to the
my
pool
husband
yesterday
asked for the same place here. He that was his answer in the Valentine's Day podcast.
Oh, great question.
A pool. They're building a new arena, but with no pool in it.
With the amount of winter we have here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, the pool is always warm, right?
Yeah. Doesn't Medicine Hat like hook theirs onto the schools? Like, isn't that? I don't know. No. Yeah, I think so. Or Medicine Hat, South Alberta. Just
we went
around.
Waylon and I went to the pool the other day, and it's so funny if you look at the Google review of the Swift Current pool. Yeah, the one of it is just says it's a pool. That's for sure, because that's all it is. It's just a big rectangle. There's nothing else. I'm like that. Yeah, it is.
It is a pool.
We are fundraising.
They didn't lie.
Yeah.
Where our aquatic center needs a whole redo. We need a whole new.
Well, they're fundraising. They're
fundraising for it right now. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome.
Your next fundraising project.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, man.
We have a lot of those on the go.
You are. You're doing great. I love your drive and ambition, and then the support and place where people can turn to, which, in an authentic way. So
I think in my perfect mind is if someone who's dealing with grief or anxiety, if they are in hospital with their kid, I mean, maybe not we're the perfect example of a resource for making it peaceful for them, but if they can just use us, if someone gets recommended to us and hey, listen to them, they might be able to help you out. I think that's just the perfect, that's what I would want from doing this.
Yeah.
Is someone being turned on to us that we can be helpful to.
Yeah.
I think that's cool feeling.
Exactly.
But really, thanks for having us on today. I've kind of been in and out with Waylon. My hands are full, but that's been okay too.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I think again.
Yeah. As we say goodbye for Color Me Happy, Brandy's podcast, and our Beyond Brave podcast, we like to tell our listeners at the end of each podcast to always stay brave. Is there anything that you like to say at the end that you have for the listeners?
I do not. I just say thank you everyone for your time, because I think time is so precious.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that the listeners are here, but as well as you both taking the time to be here and sending your special message to the world. It's definitely appreciated. So thank you. And we'll talk soon, and keep in touch and keep doing what you're doing. Because again, like, I definitely binged your podcast, and there are helpful tools and resources and connections. If anyone is looking for that element of help or grief, you guys are doing it. You're building it, and it's very, very beautiful and inspiring.
Oh, thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
That means a lot. Well, take care. And
You
have
too.
a good rest of your February break.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram at Brandy Hofer Studios anytime. I'm happy to chat. That's where I sit. And I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait for you to dive in. So give us a like and subscribe, and check the rest of our channel.
If you want to feel empowered and inspired, like and subscribe for more. And if you want to get creative, check out all our art hacks on this channel.